Friends, hello. I was driving to the gym today, coffee in hand, and I decided to make my Coffee Talks video too. I was looking through my list of videos this morning, and I felt like that a longevity talk was in order. Not only is it something in my channel that I want to focus on quite a bit, but anyway. The reason why I paused there is because I was supposed to do like a hook, and it's like, you know what? I think these kind of videos I just don't care about that as much. I'll probably get natural at it, but if you've already clicked off, well, screw you. So anyway, love you. With that said, here's what we're going to talk about today. So a lot of adults, I'm going to make a couple videos about this in general, like this week. So one of them is going to be why adults have such a hard time training, staying consistent, things like that. And today's talk is going to be about longevity and why training for longevity can feel so difficult. And I'm going to go with it kind of, I think, two parts. Right before I started, I was like, I want to go both ends of this. So why is just training so difficult when you're not looking into, when you're not thinking longevity, but why is also training difficult when you're trying to aim at longevity? Right now, I think one of the main reasons for that last section is just the constant barrage of info that we have out there that is focused on not only longevity, but everything dopamine. Like, we're trying to maximize every little part of our lives that doesn't always need to not only be that way, but it's just a little bit overwhelming. I'm a very success-oriented person, so I always hitch my ride to this kind of stuff very heavily, and it's for the most part done well, but it's because it matches my personality. I listen a lot to Gary Vaynerchuk, and people ask him stuff about why do you swear on stage and stuff all the time? It's because that's who I am, that's how I talk, and I want to be authentic, or he kind of goes into a lot of those things. Authenticity is a big thing for him. And he's one of my favorite people to listen to, especially when it comes to how to do well as a business and how to impact people and this, that, and the other. It's he's just one of those people I really like listening to more than most. Anyway, side note. So I think with training for longevity, one of the biggest problems that people will run into is that they haven't created the habits that are necessary, but it sounds sexy. It sounds sexy to train for longevity because it's one of the buzzwords, and everyone's training for longevity, and you're, supposed to drink 2 glasses of water before everything in the morning, which, honestly is a good idea, but it's getting in sunlight, the first thing in the morning, not directly into your eyes, but you have to have it on your face, and it's these things are good. When I on my way to the gym, there's times, I'll actually do this really quick right now, where I'll literally, especially when I'm not directly in the sun, I will not have my shades on. It's summertime right now, so the sun's up really early. I'll not have my shades on so I can get some sunlight in my eyes early on, and then put my shades on the rest of the day and stuff, and so it kind of helps wake me up. Anyway, I'm just talking about a random thing of optimization, and how much caffeine are you supposed to have? You should have 1 cup in the morning and then have, a matcha late. There's just all these things, this constant stuff barraging us, and I think it makes it more difficult for most people due to overwhelm, kind of just system burnout, and I think shame cycles that people put themselves in because they literally can't accomplish all these things when really it just needs to be very simple. Sorry to stop there. Probably have to do that at times, given the fact that I am driving. On the other side of things, why is just training at really hard in any way, I guess is probably a good way to put it, is just because it's hard. It's hard to stay consistent. It's hard to create the right habits necessary. And I think on both ends of these things, because I could go much deeper into what I just said, but I've just created a couple other videos about that with consistency. And the other video that I mentioned in the beginning of this one, I'll go into that more. I just think a lot of people don't have a good why. They don't really know who they are, And I'm not saying that you can't find that. I've been a distance runner my whole life. Like, I found myself through that, and it took a lot of, took many, many years of me showing up on my own accord, challenging myself, really trying to understand, like, not just the sport, but, like, who am I in this? Like, why am I not faster? What do I need to do to get faster? All these things. And eventually, just through simply challenging myself over many, many years, it just kind of like, you just kind of develop. And so I'm not saying you can't get there over the course of years, but, a lot of times when we're talking about fitness, people have a gym membership, they go there, put their headphones in, they're by themselves. And there's not necessarily a lot of community involved. And so that's not a bad thing automatically. I'm not saying you need to go join a CrossFit class or something like that, like right now, just so that you have community. But that is one of those things that a gym like that does really well. Running groups are great for that. I mean, some of those other, places, F45, Orange Theory, things like that. Those things are good, but at the same time, I won't get into that in this video. It's beyond the scope. But I do believe that most people get into those and they don't really know why, but it seems so obvious because, hey, I want to lose weight, I want to do these things, and this sounds fun. And it's a hard balance because there's like, on one hand I tell you, hey, like, test the waters, but as long as you're able to test the waters while being able to have an open hand, like consistently kind of reflect, not every single class and not even every week, but just consistently reflect on what are you getting from this? Do you feel not just good? You're going to have endorphins and crap going after a workout. It's not just do you feel good when you leave and this, that, and the other. It's like, is your life enhancing? And can you look at it long term? Let's say 6 months goes by and you're like, yeah, my life is better. It's like, well, you went from not working out to working out, so your life's probably better. So it's like, if you're able to kind of like separate and compartmentalize a little bit and go, why on a deeper level, like, what is it about this class that's making me better? And it's like, well, no, I'm just getting in shape, let's say, for example, and I feel good and I just like some of the environment. But it's like, maybe you need, as much as it might be expensive, maybe you need to go to that class 1 to 2 times a week. You need to go to a running group one day every other week, maybe. And you need to do things by yourself. Videos, you need to hire a coach, have a program, because it's designed for what you're doing. And that's not even really a pitch, honestly. I mean, you can find my links and all that crap in the description, but it's more about, honestly, just putting out like examples of like a variation of what might work for somebody. And honestly, as long as you can do that, I think it makes training long term more possible. Instead of it being, so last thing I'll say on either end of these examples is a lot of times people not only they don't know what they're training for other than that initial goal. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to get back. I want to get in a good routine and stuff like that. But they don't really connect themselves, and I know this is going to sound repetitive, they don't really connect themselves to their future. They think of it as just this like weird version of themselves. And it's like, I get it. I fear getting old myself. I don't really love it. But, I don't have like some philosophical thing to say, but I think that a lot of times people think that they're going to be this like, it's just like, oh, I'll be old, I won't be able to do that. And a lot of that's because, if you're listening, you're living in the States, I'm sorry, America fucking sucks at this topic of age, longevity, all these things. Fucking sucks. I mean, they're terrible. Like, 40 is old. And I'm sorry, it's just like, no matter what, whether people want to admit it or not, I'm 39, so people are going to, like, judge me for this. 40 is going to be the new 30, if it's not already there. You know, it's like, well, I've seen a lot of videos about 40 being the new 20, and it's like, well, that's ridiculous. But there's going to be some validity to some people's examples. Yeah. Sorry, somebody tried to like not let me in when it was like a merging lane off the highway. Whatever. You can think whatever you want, but some people are just jackasses. Anyway, I don't even remember where I was at, but I'll finish with just saying I really think that if you can dig a little bit deeper into some of the reasons why you think longevity is important to you, what do you want to accomplish later in your life, you know, even if finances are important, or maybe you have a lot of like spiritual kind of stuff that you want to dig into and travel and this and the other later in life, that's great. But to like do that, you don't want to hit 62, retire, and be kind of like down and out, you know? So it's like, does that actually like connect with you on a deeper level as to what you're doing today at 32? And like, can you separate the way you feel when you get up and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 like in order to accomplish that goal? And then on the flip side, you know, can you also just be in the present, not just thinking about your future self, and be able to balance those two things back and forth? And I think if you can do that, I think that that can really show a lot of benefits, short and long term, and create the kind of person, which is a big part of my mantra I usually like to post about. You can become the kind of person that's necessary in order to accomplish these goals. So there you go. Thanks for listening. Enjoy. I guess it's Wednesday, July 8th. This might get posted tomorrow. Enjoy your day. Whatever. Cheers.